What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we have none other than our favorite deck choices here. We have a market watch to deal with. So guys, without further ado, let's dive in the video and talk about it. So first off, let's talk about none other than Shine Greymon Burst Mode. Alternate versus Royal Knights BT13. Obviously, we are getting more support for these decks in BT 25 or 24, whatever one. The next main set that isn't, Time Stranger themed. So that's something to keep in mind because A, means we're going to get support for these decks, and B, means these older cards might go up in price. So before you get shit on and just worry about not having the cards you wanted, maybe it might be smart to pick up some pre-destined cards, right? Especially this one wouldn't be a bad idea or a bad take. So Europe side looking like 15s, we're in the 8s, so just make sure you get this on your radar and make sure you pick a couple copies up just in case that they don't make a new overpowered burst mode, but whatever the support is and the old one is still the better choice. I would probably want to be on that side, right? Mirage Galgamon burst mode is sitting at $2, 3 to 4s, goes to 5s. I mean, we haven't seen anything crazy come out of this card for a bit, and we are going to get some sort of Mirage level 6. That should be a super rare to kind of compensate that we have our restricted boy. And again, deck needed to be hit. This deck was coming back every format, and even at the end of the day, this was the longest running blue deck probably since conception of BT13. Was lasting until, past, it was already touching what, 16 when it finally got hit. And everybody blames Galaxy, but it wasn't just Galaxy, it was that deck in general. The dog had to go, but at the end of the day, very powerful card. We're gonna see some sort of mechanic with Tamer and Digimon, which means we're gonna see some more added benefit, right? Now taking a look, 9s to the 5s, I would not sleep on this card. Morphomon, another great card that has finally cooled off. Remember this thing being stupid? I remember it. The thing was, this card was uberly expensive, and I don't think it was even a year ago. I think it was 2 years ago when this card dropped, and it just wasn't going down anytime soon. Yeah, no, last year. God, I think it hit like $20 a piece. Yeah, we got finally some 13s and stuff like that. It's finally coming down a little bit. I would pick up the Morphomons if you do plan on ever playing Eosmon competitively. Eventually Eosmon's going to get support. It's just how this game works. So I wouldn't not suggest getting the card, right? Europe side looking like 10 to 23, 18 euros. Wow. Renamon. Remember this thing being stupid expensive? I do. Should have sold it when it was 32s. I waited too long. Now down to 10s. There is a possibility this thing could see some climb, especially with the new support coming in EX 11 or 12, whatever it is. The next EX set in February that comes out. So you could definitely see some increase there, 7 to 8 euros. But the problem comes down to we get a reprint around that time if people bought the binder, so they have an upgrade. So I don't know if it's going to go up or not. Renamon Alts Digital Hazard EXO2 seeing some hype, and that's just because we have Renamon releasing this week. We have the Sakuya deck coming out, so just something to be afraid of. So looking like 18 to 20 euros. Now Chimera Alts seeing some spikes, guys. Yeah, thank you, Hoodie. Hoodie just making this thing money again. $35+ Europe side, 12 to 20 euros. Terramon Alts from Digimon Liberator EXO7. We're up to 25s on buyout. Again, this is hyped. This is something should been on your radar, especially because we're going to get more support. And when we get more support, that changes everything up. 10 to 14 euros. Rosemon Burst Mode got bought out like crazy. Anybody got an explanation for this? This could just be straight up hype. But again, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and one of their tamers until the end of your opponent's turn. All their Digimon and tamers do not unsuspend. This could be something going on with something. I just don't know why Burst Mode Rosemon is going up. It just doesn't seem like the logical choice, but this could just be hype for future support and, you know, the next big main set, right? But $30, crazy. 12 to 16 euros. Analog use from versus Monsters EX09, up to 10 bucks, guys. Another card that I would just probably make sure that either I have, or if I don't plan on ever playing the deck, just hold on until it just hits a ridiculous price, because A, they're always going to be printing some sort of DM support as their way of kind of making these other versions better. And when those other versions get better, means that Analog Youth will probably be better for it. So again, this one has such a big playability between all the decks of DM that it's fundamentally necessary. 4 to 7 euros. Kaguya-mon versus Monsters EX09. Up to 6 is finally cooling off from those 10s. Not terrible. Could have been a lot worse, but it's good to see it finally cooled off. Just hasn't done really a lot because the format isn't favorable for the deck anymore. But once the format reopens up and it becomes favorable, I could definitely see it. Europe side, 6 to 8 euros. Hokoto, just sitting at $6 and climbing. This is strictly just a counter for Hoodie. So a lot of decks are using this as a way of countering the Hoodie decks that they're facing. Now Europe side, 6 to 8 euros to 10s. Tai Kamiya, Matt Ishida, Alt, Secret Crisis, $60 and going down. A little bit. Good to see it come down from 68s, but, you know, we're on buyout still. That's crazy to me. 40, 45 euros. Wow, we're just not cooling off. Dino Beamon, seeing some climb up love. You know, I really hope I get a full playset of Dino Bees very easily, because that would be the dream come true for the alt, because I actually like the new printing alt better than the old. You know, the old alt at $33 right now a piece, which is great because, God, it was like $60, almost 200 bucks, or it was, yeah, $50 a piece. You almost spent 200 bucks for this copy, and it was ridiculous. But again, if you have Dino B extras, probably a good time to move in, especially around the holidays. Europe side, 7 to 10 euros. Yuko, Cyber Eden, BT22s, sitting at 12s. Yuko, just stay pretty. You know, it's kind of expensive. I want to say Greymon has potential, but you need a lot more support. 5 to 10 euros. Eosmon Chaos Mode, completely buyout, 3 listings, and then this thing just goes ridiculous. Europe side, 28 to 40 euros. Again, this is probably one of those cards that once we get closer to reprint bucks, yeah, move this along, little doggy, and make your money, because A, there's no reason for you to hold on to this when a reprint set comes around, because this thing is overdue for a reprint, and it's going to get one. So if I get Ace, another card you guys should probably be thinking about. Reason for this is because if I get Ace is probably one of the best cards for Zafaigamon. Green Ranger uses this. Zafaiga uses this. So it's just quite a good piece, right? You know, 6 to 10 euros. And we're getting more support, and we're going to get the level 7 for none other than for the Zafaiga deck. That means, hey, it's going to be expensive. Eosmon got bought out, $40 a piece. Wow. Has any sold at that? Of course they did. Well, guys, if you have this, flip it. Christmas money is good spending money. Europe side, 13s to 20 euros. Eosmon Ace. God, this thing got bought out. Was someone just got hyped for the Black Friday sales? Because, wow. What deck triggered this? Bielsa Ace hasn't really done that well in high competitive, but could be wrong. Something could be if someone's got a comment. 24 to 30 euros. Medusamon saw some spike up as well, but we're going to have to see what they do with Medusa, right? This one's pretty good. I don't see us doing what we do with, Pyramidi or anything like that. Like, it's weird because the rare kind of fills in the slot when you want to use the warp one more. So I kind of get where they're going. It's a challenge. Europe side, 5 to 6 euros. Dame Tromon is up to $3 in climbing, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing reaches $6 to $7 is the more we get closer and closer to events and release in January, because if Medusa becomes competitive, this will be one of the cards they're going to be wanting to have. So let's take a look here. Yeah, it's up to $6 for the winner stamp. Europe side, cheap. You guys have it under €1, which is pretty good. Neptunemon, Battle of Omni pre-release cards. People are talking like, buy this out. We're gonna have such good. Please don't. It doesn't have the Time Stranger's ability stamp. They're not making searchers. The searchers don't look for the shaman, nor do they look for Olympus 12. So yeah, I wouldn't do this. I mean, the Digimon can't attack. Cool. Can't be attacked. Cool. Negate raid. No, don't fall into this booby trap. Europe side looking like, 1 to 2 euros. Just don't. It's not worth it. We're getting better cards. And again, Neptunemon will be revealed in the morning. So, yeah. Devimon sitting at 16 in climbing, guys. Time Stranger stuff. This promos is going to hold long-term wise. Yeah, Europe side 6 to 10 euros. Patamon, Time Stranger promos, they're at $12 a piece. Yeah, Europe side 8 to 10 euros as well. Minerva's up to $13 a pop. 106 Crazy Nick cards. Wow, dude, you have a metric ton. Europe side 10 to 11 euros. But all in all, guys, hopefully you guys found this video informative, useful, whatever you call it. But guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.